Hello there, you are welcome to my YouTube channel. In this video, I'm going to show you how to evaluate this without using a calculator. So let's go right in. Now look at 64 and look at 16. We can rewrite these two numbers as a power of 2. Okay, so let's do that. I'm going to write 64 as 2 raised to the power of 6. Yes, because 2 raised to the power of 6 is what? 64. In case you don't know, 2 raised to the power of 5 means 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. I hope I said that correctly. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then 2 raised to the power of 6 would be 6 of this, right? So when you multiply 2 by itself 6 times, you get what? 64. Because 2 raised to the power of 5 is what? 32. Is what? 32. Now, what about 16 raised to the power of? Now, what about 16? I can write 16 as 2 raised to the power of 4. So 2 raised to the power of 4 is what? 16. Now that I know this, I'm now going to replace 64 and 16 with 2 raised to the power of 6 and 2 raised to the power of 4 respectively. So let's do that. Now, this is going to be 2 raised to the power of 6. Remember, I'm just replacing 64 with 2 raised to the power of 6. Then we still have a power of 3 here. So write it here. Then minus, what about 16? 16 is what? 2 raised to the power of 4. So let's write it here. And then we have the power of 4, which is still there. Okay, now, from one of the laws of indices, if you have x raised to the power a bracket n, you can multiply these two powers to become x raised to the power of what? A n. So that's what I'm going to do right here. This is going to be what? 6 times 3, which is what? 18. What about here? 4 times 4, that's what? 16. So now, what I want to do next is to bring in the concept of difference of two squares, which means I must have a square here, a square. I must also have a square here, but I don't have that right now. Well, do you know that I can rewrite 18 as 2 times 9? 2 is going to be a square. What about 16? 2 times what? 8. So that's what I'm going to do here. I'm going to write this as 2 raised to the power of 9 times 2, or I can write it like this. You know, I already told you this particular law of indices, where you have x raised to the power of a bracket n, it can be what? X raised to the power of a n. So that's what I'm going to do here. All right, so if you multiply 9 and 2, you get what? 18. So nothing has changed. Then what about this? 16 will be what? 8 times 2. So 2 raised to the power of 8 and then raised to the power of 2. You see what I have now? Now I can talk about difference of two squares, because this is a square and this is a square. So, but we need to rewrite 2 raised to the power of 9 as what? So now I'm going to bring in the difference of two squares. How does it work? If you have a raised to the power of 2 minus b raised to the power of 2, this is equal to a plus b in bracket, and then what? A minus b. This is how to factorize when you have difference of two squares. And of course, we have that here. This is a square, another square. So using the difference of two squares, this is going to be what? 2 raised to the power of 9 plus 2 raised to the power of 8 in bracket, and then what? 2 raised to the power of 9 minus 2 raised to the power of 8. I'm using difference of two squares. So let's keep going. Now, what we need to do next is to find out what 2 raised to the power of 9 is and 2 raised to the power of 8 is. So see, in order not to get too confused, you can decide to break it down if you so wish. So you can write 2 raised to the power of 9 as 2 raised to the power of maybe 6 times 2 raised to the power of 3. Because if you use the law of indices, they have the same base, right? When you add the power, since we are multiplying, this is dot, which is multiplication. If you add 6 to 3, you get 9. So I can decide to rewrite 2 raised to the power of 9 as 2 raised to the power of 6 times 2 raised to the power of 3, because it's going to be much easier for me. That if I choose to do it like this. So what is 2 raised to the power of 6? This is what, you know, we already did that before. That's 64, right? And what is 2 raised to the power of 3? That's what? 8. So we can multiply 64 by 8. What is 64 times 8? Let's quickly find it out here. So 64 times 8. 8 times 4 is what? 32, right? 2, carry 3. 8 times 6 is 48. 48 plus 3 is what? 51. So we have 512, which means 2 raised to the power of 9 is 512. So I can replace it here. But what about 2 raised to the power of 8? You know, I can also do the same thing as I did here. So if I change this to 2 raised to the power of 8, I have to write 2 here. This is 2 raised to the power of 8. You see, 2 raised to the power of 6 is already what? 64. What about 2 raised to the power of 2? That's 4. So I'm going to erase this and use 4. Let's try to get what that will give us. So times 4. 4 times 4, that's 16. We write 6, we carry 1 over. 4 times 6 is what? 24 plus 1 is 25. That's 256. It's because there are some people here who might not know this. That's why I'm taking my time to do this. So 2 raised to the power of 9 is 512. And 2 raised to the power of 8 is what? 256. So I'll do the same thing here. 2 raised to the power of 9 is 512 minus what? 256. I hope this is good. So let's add these two numbers and let's subtract this one here. So let's go. What is 512 plus 256? Let's try to work it out here. So 512 plus 256. 2 plus 6, that's 8. 1 plus 5 is 6. 5 plus 2 is 7. So we have 768. And then times what? 512 minus 256. Okay, so we are now going to subtract in this case. So let's do that. 2 minus 6, we can do that. Take 1 from here. This is 0. This is 12. 12 minus 6, that's 6. I can't do 0 minus 5. Take 1 from 5. This is now 4. And this is 10. 10 minus 5 is 5. 4 minus 2, that's 2. So we have 256. It's now time to multiply. So I don't think this should be much of a problem. We can easily just do our long multiplication. So I think I can do that right here. So let's multiply 768 by 256. Let's go. 6 times 8, that's 48. Write 8, carry 4. 6 times 6 is 36 plus 4 is 40. Write 0, carry 4. 6 times 7 is 42 plus 4 is 46. So let's use 5 now. I'm going to use 5 to multiply all those other numbers. So I'm going to do 5 times 8, that's 40. Write 0, carry 4. 5 times 6 is 30 plus 4 is 34. Write 4, carry 3. 5 times 7 is 35 plus 3 is 38. So let's use the last number, which is 2. I'm going to use 2 now. 2 times 8 is what? 16. Write 6, carry 1. 2 times 6 is 12 plus 1 is 13. Write 3, carry 1. 2 times 7 is 14 plus 1 is 15. Write 1, 5 like so. So we add all these numbers. Down 8 to be brought down. 0 plus 0 is 0. 6 plus 4 is 10. 10 plus 6 is 16. Write 6, carry 1. 1 plus 4 is 5. 5 plus 8 is 13. 13 plus 3 is 16. Write 6, carry 1. 1 plus 3 is 4. 4 plus 5 is 9. And write 1 here. So what we have here is what? 196,608. This is the answer. So I hope you found value from this video. If it was helpful, kindly like, share, and subscribe to this channel for more content like this. I hope to see you in the next one. Bye for now.